Welcome to Sound Like a Native English Speaker. This YouTube video is going to be on common mistakes made in English. If you've ever wondered how you can sound like a native English speaker and what words do native English speakers usually use, this is a great YouTube for all of you, and this will be actually one of very many YouTube videos that I will be posting. And it's the first one. This is the first one. It's just going to be an overview of future YouTube videos to come. All right? Word choice. Many non-native English speakers tend to directly translate from their own language to English using the same words. Sometimes this does not work. All right? It just does not work. So let's go to the here, career versus major. A lot of people, and I live in Mexico, I hear a lot of people say, oh, my career is biology, and they're referring to what they are studying in school. If you are referring to the field or your field of study in school, we generally do not use career. So what do you guys think? What is the correct answer? What word would we use instead of career? Well, if you guessed major, then you are correct. My major is biology. Okay? Explanation. Your career is your profession. My career is in biology. Okay? Your major is your main subject area of what you are studying in school. And it only lasts as long as you're in school. Okay? I go to the University of Minnesota and I am majoring in journalism. Okay? So after you're done with school, you can say my career is in journalism. Okay? Side note, the word major is generally used at an undergraduate level. Example, bachelor's degree. Okay? Undergraduate level. We generally don't use major when you're talking about a graduate level. Okay? Here's another one. Win versus earn versus beat. I often hear this in Mexico, always, with Spanish speakers. How much money do you win? What do you think is the correct answer? All right, if you said earn, then you are correct. How much money do you earn? Okay? Let's look at the second bullet point. He won you. Again, many Spanish speakers tend to directly translate from Spanish to English. This does not work in this case. What do you think is the correct answer? If you said he beat you, then you are correct. Explanation. You earn a salary. Teachers generally do not earn a lot of money. Okay? You earn a salary. How much money do you earn at your job? Right? Or you can say, how much money do you make? Either one. You can't say you make a salary. You have to say you earn a salary. Okay? You win the contest, game, or match. Okay? You don't earn the contest, game, or match. You win it. You win it. And that is the only time we use win in this case when we're talking about a contest, game, or match. Okay? We don't use win for if we are talking about the money, the amount of money we make. Okay? You beat your opponent, not I won you, right? Because when you say you is the opponent. Okay? I hope she beats him at the tennis match, right? Him. I hope she beats him, not I hope she won him or I hope she wins him. I hope she beats him. Okay? I beat him playing basketball yesterday. I beat him playing basketball yesterday. Excellent. Let's move on. All right. Let's read this email together and see if you can spot the error. Dear Maria, thank you for registering for the annual TOEFL conference on Tuesday, January 15th, 2014. Please confirm your attendance. I wait for your answer. Tina. Where do you think the error is in this sentence? Where do you think the error is? Alright, so if you thought the error was I wait for your answer, then you are correct. The correct answer is I look forward to hearing from you. I cannot begin to tell you how many people or how many emails I see with this sign off tag. I wait for your answer. That is not correct. If you are going to use these sign off tags, please learn the correct ones. Please do not translate because they just do not work. Here's some popular email sign-offs, okay? The closest I can get to I look forward to hearing from you is espero su respuesta, right? In Spanish. All right? So don't try to translate your email sign-offs. Learn them. Learn English ones. So here are some popular English sign-off tags, right? So professional email sign-off tags, we have sincerely, cordially, warmest regards, sincere regards, respectfully, professional with frequent communication, casual, yours truly, best regards. These are not all of them, and there's no specific rule on using them. This is kind of just a guideline, okay? And then you have the thank you, and you can't go wrong with a thank you. It can be professional, and it can also be very casual. All right? Excellent. Let's move on. To know versus to meet, okay? Do you know Miami, Florida? I want you to know my mother. Let's look at the first bullet point. Where do you see the error? If you said, have you been to Miami, Florida, instead of, do you know Miami, Florida, then you are correct. Okay? Excellent. What about the second one? I want you to know my mother. If you said, I want you to meet my mother, then you are correct. Explanation. We use the verb to meet when we are introduced to someone for the first time. Okay? When we haven't had contact with that certain person, we use to meet. For example, have you met him yet? I want you to meet my mom. I want you to meet him, not I want you to know my mom. No, that sounds kind of funny. I would say, as a native English speaker, I would say, I want you to meet my mom. All right? Here's a little side note here. I want to introduce you to my brother, not I want to present you to my brother. Lot of times, a lot of Spanish speakers often translate this directly from Spanish to English. I want to present you my brother. No. A native English speaker would say, I want to introduce you to my brother. Excellent. We use a verb to know with a person that is already familiar to you. Okay? Do you know my brother? Do you know my brother? No, I don't know him. Also, guys, we don't use a verb to know when we're talking about places, okay? We do not say, do you know Miami? We don't say that. In Spanish, you can say, use the verb conocer un lugar. But in English, we don't use that, okay? We use have you been. When we say have you been, we are assuming that you are already familiar with the area and that you know the area already, okay? So we only use know when that person is already familiar to you in this case, okay? Here's a little context for you guys. I've known him for 15 years. We met for the first time at a wedding. I've known him for 15 years. We use I've known him when the person is already familiar to you. We met at the first time at the wedding, for the first time at a wedding. So we are introduced to someone for the first time, we use meet, okay? Second bullet point. I know Jane very well. We have been friends ever since we were children. We use know because that person is already familiar to us. We have been friends since we were children. So Jane knows her friend very well, okay? Excellent, guys. Let's move. Enter versus start. When I entered primary school, I was 5. When I entered the university, I wanted to major in journalism. Excellent. Now, this is not necessarily incorrect, but a native English speaker would probably not use this word. Can you guys think of the word? If you said entered, you are correct. The correct word would be started. When I started primary school, I was 5. When I started at the university, I wanted to major in journalism. Enter is not necessarily incorrect in English, but a native English speaker would say I started. They would not say I entered. All right, excellent. Let's hear versus to listen. Can you listen me? I like to hear music when I work out. Let's look at the first bullet point. Where do you see the error here? If you said, can you hear me, then you are correct. Let's look at the second bullet point. Where do you think the error is here? If you said, I like to listen to music when I work out, then you are correct. So what's the difference between hear and listen? Explanation, listen. We use a verb to listen when paying attention to sounds coming into your ears, concentrating on a sound, making an effort to hear someone or something. Are you listening to me? We listened carefully to the president's speech. Okay? So when we are paying attention to something, we are trying to listen to it, right? So we use listen. I like to listen to music. It's not something that that we can't control. It's something that we can control. We can control if we listen to music. Okay? Side note, remember when listen has an object used too. I like listening to music. Can you identify the object in the first bullet point under remember? If you said music, then you are correct. I like listening to music. Okay? What about the second bullet point? Can you identify the object? If you said you, then you are correct. I'm listening to you. Not I listen you or not I listen music. Remember, we need to add to. If you don't add to, it sounds funny. It will sound very funny, so make sure you add to. Excellent, guys. Let's move on. Hear. Explanation. We use a verb to hear when we notice sounds coming through our ears but are not paying attention to the sounds. We cannot control it. Your ear will hear the sound whether you want to or not. You can decide if you want to listen to the sound. I heard a knock at the door. I suddenly heard a loud noise. Can you speak louder, please? I can't hear you. So when something we cannot control, we use hear. I heard a knock at the door. Right? We didn't choose to listen. We chose to hear. We didn't choose to listen to it. It automatically came through our ears. So we need to use hear. Okay? I hear my mom screaming at my brother. He probably did something bad. Right? I'm not choosing to listen to my mom. I'm hearing it involuntarily, right? Excellent. Great. Let's go ahead and move on. To see, to watch versus to look at, okay? I'm seeing the TV. Watch me when I'm talking to you. Let's go look at the soccer game. Can you spot the error in the first bullet point? If you said, I'm watching the TV, then you are correct. When we're talking about TV, we say, I'm watching the TV. We're talking about what's on the TV, we say, I'm watching the TV. We don't say, I'm seeing the TV, we say, I'm watching the TV. Okay? Watch me when I'm talking to you. Correction. Look at me when I'm talking to you. Not watch me. Look at me when I'm talking to you. Okay? Excellent. Let's go look at the soccer game. Correction. Let's go watch the soccer game. It's correct. Some of these things you just need to know how to put them together. Sometimes there is not a rule for using these. Sometimes there's not a rule. Sometimes you just have to learn how to use them and what what you can combine with a certain verb. But here's some explanations. We use see to mean simply that an image comes into our eyes. As soon as we open our eyes, we see. I see a cloud in the sky. I suddenly saw a bird fly in front of me. Did you really see Ray? He was waving at you. Didn't you see Ray? He was waving at you. Okay, excellent. So these are things that you can't control them, right? Just things that come in your eye. When you wake up in the morning, what do you see? I see a TV in the room. Not I'm watching TV. I just see the TV. I see the TV. I see a bed. I see a chair. I see my brother yelling at my mom, right? When we look, we try to see. We concentrate our eyes on something. Look, it's snowing. Look at the photo. Isn't it beautiful? I'm looking, but I don't see it. Hey, look at my mom and my brother fight. We're intentionally trying to do that. We're concentrating our eyes on something. When we look with an object, we say look at plus object. For example, John looked at Mary. Okay? We always say looked at plus object. Look at the TV. Look at my mom and my brother fighting. Look at the lady walking down the street. Look at the man. Look at this PowerPoint presentation. Remember, we use look plus at plus object. Excellent. Let's move on. Explanation for watch. With the verb watch, we are more active. We watch things that are going to move or change in some way. And we watch the movement and changes. The police decided to watch the suspected murderer rather than arrest him immediately. They hoped he would lead them to the body. So they were watching him, actively watching him. His actions may have changed, right? I'm watching motor racing on TV, right? Excellent. So we watch the movements and changes. If you watch that egg for long enough, you'll see it hatch. Okay? Hatch is when a baby bird is born and the egg breaks, right? So watch is more active when movement and changes happen, right? We're watching TV. There's movement and changes on TV. We're watching motor racing on TV. You're watching the man because he was a suspected murderer and he might do something else. All right? So excellent, guys. That is great. So let's go ahead and move on to the last slide here. Watch to see for movies, concert, TVs, etc. Right? So we want to also, there's some exceptions as well in English, always exceptions in English. In general, we use see for public performances and watch for television at home. We're going to see George Clooney's latest movie at the cinema tonight. Okay? So we want to use see for public performances, right? Okay? Because we're going to see George Clooney's latest movie at the cinema tonight, right? So we're talking about the cinema. And we're seeing his latest performance, so we use see. Did you ever see Michael Jackson live on stage? Right, we're talking about a concert here. Okay. Have you seen that Gaddafi video on YouTube? There's supposed to be a scene here. Have you seen SEEN? Have you seen that video on YouTube? Okay. Last night we stayed home and watched some films on TV. Okay? When I'm bored, I played a few DVDs and watched them on my computer. Alright, so watch or see for movies, concerts, TVs, and etc. Okay? So remember, we use see for public performances and watch for television at home. Watch for television at home, see for public performances. See George Clooney's latest movie. That's a public performance. See Michael Jackson. That's a concert. That's a public performance, right? See the video, the Gaddafi video on YouTube. That is a public performance. We stayed home and watched. That is at home. Okay? When I'm bored, I play a few DVDs and watch them on my computer. Okay? You're at home. All right. Excellent, guys. Great. So that is going to be our last slide here. Um, guys, this is just going to be one of many, many, many YouTube videos that I'm going to post. So please subscribe now to this channel. If you have any suggestions or if you'd like me to cover another topic, please let me know. I would be more than happy to. Just leave me a comment in the comment box. And thank you all for watching. Thank you. And have an excellent, excellent day. Goodbye, guys, and see you next time.